Hey guys, it's Justin, your guide into the other side. Today I want to give you a quick update on Rec League with regards to Mint, and then transition to a quick update about the markets, ApeCoin, etc., right? So first of all, welcome to the Rec League Mint. Basically, this is just kind of we basically saw, you know, I guess a lot of people start minting, stuff going on secondary markets. So we'll just cover everything related to that. So what's important is that the game launches on September 14th, right? So when you start that day, you'll need a mech to play in the tournament, which will have on-chain prizes. So that's definitely interesting. Probably have mech, I guess, probably booster box prizes, stuff like that, including a rare arena NFTs that enable you to create your own tournaments. So seems like people who are really into the game, they can probably host their own events. That seems very interesting here. We can see kind of some of the gameplay as well. But I also want to bring your attention to Samoru's news post. This is kind of big, so I'm only going to cover things that are important. We saw more than 12,000 unique KYC individuals join the queue. So initially there was about 200,000 unique wallets that KYC'd. So 200,000 to 12,000, I would say that's about like 5% conversion rate. In sales and marketing, that's pretty industry standard. So that's nothing out of the ordinary. They also saw that some of the early boxes are being flipped on OpenSea and Blur, so that kind of brought it down to the min price. I'll talk about that in just a second. But there's no reason to wait hours in the queue. Most people just kind of said, hey, I'm just gonna go buy it off of OpenSea or Blur and just kind of play the game that way. There's a lot of flippers that got in, sold for profit, whatever. But we also saw that where they will take a look at where they will be in about 24 hours for the mint period, and they're going to burn the remaining supply. So, basically everything that got minted by the initial minters will be the initial supply of like those Gen 1 mech parts. I'm sure we'll see more boxes in the future for maybe seasons or, expansions or whatever. But, what Samora was talking about is he basically said, hey, we're confident that Rec League and the mech NFTs will arise as one of the few projects that provide tangible value and utility in the Web3 economy, emphasizing substance over hype and speculation. So I do want to talk about that, right? So I want to bring your attention also to Rec League's announcement with the 50% revenue share. So this is definitely interesting. We have this infographic here showing us, hey, 50% of revenue share will go to the mech owners. So basically, when you're creating your mech, you're building for specific playstyles and you're trying to get to the top you're grinding to the top of the leaderboard. The best mechs that perform in game, so there's a balance between building and skill, will be able to be sold on the Web 2 version of the game when it launches early next year. So that's super interesting because we're seeing like this next step in the gaming sphere where a lot of game ownership, economy, and community will like shift towards the player base, right? So players will be empowered, I guess, technically, because they will be getting 50% of the the revenue, right? So basically, we see this breakdown, and I'm seeing this interesting transparency, I guess, move where they're showing us the breakdown. So it's like 50% goes to mech owners, but also 30% goes to platforms. So that's also a non-insignificant portion. 30% goes to App Store and the Google Play Store, etc., etc. And then the remaining 20% goes to the developers at Enway Games, right? So that's certainly interesting. What I did notice is like the intermediaries like the App Store and Google Play get, I guess, 10% more than developers. I'm not sure how I feel about that. That's just something about the Web 2 economy, in-app purchases, the payment rails, access to, I guess, player-based liquidity. That seems interesting to me. I don't understand why developers would get paid less than the infrastructure holders, but it's definitely interesting to see the shift towards community ownership, community revenue sharing, stuff like that. So I'm going to move on to Tenacious's post about some alpha for Rec League. So we also saw that the Rec League team teased that mechs will be interoperable with future games that they also build. So not just Rec League. It seems like Rec League mechs will be, probably interoperable with other metaverses as well. If they're building stuff, probably interoperable. That's yet to be seen. So we'll see what happens there. So I kind of want to transition into the Genesis Mint a little bit of a market analysis video as well. So currently we are at about, I guess, 1/3 of the Majestic box being minted. So, it seems like I'm not sure. We'll have to see how much of it gets burned at the end. But honestly, not that much has been, minted thus far. It is like 1 a.m. On the 18th right now, so we still got a bunch of time. About half of the booster boxes got minted. 58, 158. I would say today was a pretty volatile day with regards to the market as well. We're kind of down on I guess there's a ginormous Bitcoin volatility event happening right now, so we'll cover that in just a second. So with regards to the Rec League Majestic boxes, these are just the boxes that have 10 parts of them, full mech build, and then the booster boxes are like those 5 random parts. So we did see, that in the initial, like, if we actually take a look at this chart here, we can see like the first minters, the flippers kind of sold everything down to the mint price. So we're basically seeing about 0.15, 0.146 ETH. So if we just click on this, it's about $250. At the current price of Ape, that's pretty close to the floor. The same thing goes for Rec League boosters. But what's really important is actually take a look at the analytics, right? Because we can actually see how many unique holders there are, right? This is probably the most important metric that I want to take a look at, because kind of shows us the strength of the health of the game. How many people are actually playing NFTs. The 200K, the 12K. That's just kind of like how many eyes are on the space. But, when it really comes down to the meat and potatoes, the unique holders, the player base is probably going to be around 2,000 for, just the Majestic boxes. And then, we can also take a look at the Rec League booster boxes, and there's about 1,100 unique holders for the boosters, right? So, obviously, I would say the Majestics are probably that main thing that people are trying to get in order to play the game, build good mechs. And then I would say the boosters are just, boosters, so on and so forth. So, let's just kind of jump over to the markets as a whole currently. So we're currently sitting at about 26,400 for Bitcoin, 1,600 for ETH, and about $1.50 for ApeCoin. Right. Over the past 24 hours, we've actually seen a pretty big dump on the market. We're sitting 7% down on Bitcoin and ETH, and then ApeCoin it's down about it's down like 15%, which is pretty ridiculous. But again, you do have to keep in mind that we did just have our dilution event. So we actually, maybe we saw a lot of people get that, get their vested amount of ApeCoin, and then they kind of waited to see if, they wanted to participate in Rec League, and then, maybe they decided to dump on market, but, I have no idea. So, if we actually take a look at Bitcoin, I want to bring this out to a larger time frame. I've been tracking this consolidation market for since we kind of bottomed out at 15,000, and in comparison to the previous consolidations, I would say we're about halfway. It's a 200-day 284 out of maybe 532. Statistically speaking, the first consolidation was 490, second consolidation was 504. I'm tracking like 500 to I guess I would track like around 500 days. So I like to track the behavior of Bitcoin within this consolidation. What I mean by that is the bottom to the midpoint. We're sitting at about, the first cycle, basically the first consolidation market is kind of just touched the midpoint and then just kept executing to the all-time high. Seems like the second consolidation period, we had a mini bull market where we kind of retested the 50%, kind of dropped below it, tried again. And then it just kind of seems like this time, we touched 30K, we got rejected both times, and now we're seeing this, this retrace dump back down. So, in terms of like where we're going to go, I have no idea. We're just at this 25K range. But otherwise, that's just kind of my market update. I don't know if necessarily this is going to continue to trend down, or if it's going to just consolidate here. But based off of the activity in the Rec League launch, just looking at this mint, It doesn't seem like that many people are. It's not minting out right now, or it's not minted out currently. But as more economies and games get released, I'm sure interest will return. That's yet to be seen, though. So that's just kind of my speculation. But otherwise, that's just kind of my market update for today. Rec League news. Definitely hit that like and subscribe button if you found anything interesting or intriguing in this video. But you can always find me on Twitter, Discord, and I'll make sure to have those links below. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.